What's up, YouTube? How's it going? And we're live on Twitch as well. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my series, Practicing Basic Mathematics Live. Yeah, I'm excited for this. It's just a stream. It's an office hours. Today, for the first time, I titled the stream Chapter, I don't know, whatever. Because I don't exactly know yet what I want to be studying and practicing today. But the most important news to give right now is that I went to the store and I got a brand new Apple Pencil. And thankfully, I went to Best Buy. I thought to go to Best Buy and they have used Apple Pencils. So I got a used Apple Pencil and it was like half the price that it normally is. So I was very happy about that score. Yeah, and it turns out I was correct. My previous Apple Pencil was just dead. Like, the battery had just totally died. Hey, Lemmy Gaming, what's up, bro? How's it going, dude? What kind of gaming do you do? Have you been here before? I don't feel like I recognize your handle. Have you been here before, dude? I apologize if so. I'm not the greatest with usernames. Be right back. I need to get my iPad. Oh, hi, Luna. Hi. Few times already, but I rarely comment. Okay. Well, Luna says hi. Luna says hi. Well, welcome, dude. Good to have you back. What kind of math are you studying? What kind of gaming are you gaming? Nice to meet you. So, if you've been here before, you know that these videos, it's like partly a hangout, it's partly me studying and practicing, and I've been titling them and uploading them in a way that kind of looks like it's a course, like really organized to like what is the chapter for this video. I'm trying to, I'm really thinking of just moving away from that completely. Like, maybe still titling these videos as what the chapter is for the day. Because there are times that I am, really trying to lock in and get actual work done. But, particular, I'm thinking of just, completely unlisting the videos. Like, the live streams. Because this is only really intended for people who are here live. Like, that's my thought. Like, this is only really built and designed for people who are here live. And I keep seeing in my analytics that people keep checking out the stream and then unsubscribing. And it's like net positive. Some people unsubscribe, but then, some other people subscribe. And, it's unclear to me whether or not keeping the streams up is a net positive or not. Because not only are there unsubscribes, but presumably there's a bunch of people out there who are seeing my stupid face or Luna's stupid face, in, a live stream VOD. And nobody, live stream VODs are just not really designed to be interesting. Nobody really watches live stream VODs. So if YouTube is, recommending to everybody, check out this video, that can just annoy people a lot. So I'm really thinking about just unlisting them or something. But I know some people want to work through them after the fact and actually working through them like a course. So I'm I don't know, I don't want to take that away from them either. Hey, Heidi, good morning, good to see you. I think you should continue what you're doing because I myself find it helpful. Well, I'm going to continue this for sure. I mean, this is a good question to you, Lemmy. For those unsubscribing, they're just not fit with your content. But the thing is, have you seen the Blue main series? The new math as a hobby sort of stuff? Like, I'm guessing you found my channel because of that, right? Those new math can be a hobby.com. Yeah, like, I think a lot of people have subscribed. Like 90% of my subscribers now, plus, have subscribed because of those videos. So now suddenly my channel, like, being fit with my content, if that is my primary content, I don't want the live streams to, to get in the way of that. Like I've gotten some comments from people who have said, yo, this looked really interesting, and I was going to subscribe, but then I saw members only shit, and I decided I'm not interested, or something like that. So it's like, damn, dude, like, I want to make it clear that this is like secondary, you know? Hey, what's up, Math with Ming? Good to see you. Nice. You had bad fear of math in high school and now you want to get over it. That is the goal here. That is the goal. Yes, I went to the store yesterday. Turns out I was correct. It was the Apple Pencil. There was an semi-interesting story. I got a used Apple Pencil, which was like half off. So I was very happy about that. Like, shout outs to Best Buy as opposed to the Apple Store for selling used stuff. But I couldn't get it to connect, so I was like, oh man, it's the iPad screen. But then I was like, okay, wait, the iPad sees that this is a pencil, but then I went in Bluetooth and I was like, oh, I think it's the same Bluetooth ID, not just the same Bluetooth name, but also the same Bluetooth ID for this device. So every pencil has the same Bluetooth ID, which is surprising to me. So once I disconnected, or I forgot the previous device and then I connected this one, then it suddenly started working. But there was a moment where he was going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll toss that one. That's defective. Here's a new one. I was like, I'm very suspicious. I'm extremely suspicious that this pencil is defective. But yeah, so I'm preparing right now. I was just talking earlier, or like a second ago, that with Lemmy, that I'm really trying to redesign a little bit of my basic structure of these streams. And I want to make it just so much more obvious and clear to people that this is secondary content compared to the primary blue thumbnail series. So, I don't know. One option is just unlist streams right after they're done. But some people like them, so I think keeping them at like a $1 Luna tier kind of thing, and just keep saying live. Like, I don't expect anybody, you shouldn't watch these live streams after the fact. Like, I discourage that. But if some people want it and they like it, then who am I to not offer that? Okay, so another thing is that I can just be so much more myself and casual and just get started streaming 10 minutes earlier while I set up, and I can start hanging out and chatting with you all. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just design decisions about the channel, and I mean, I'm just so algorithm pilled now, like creator pilled, creator brain pilled, that I'm just thinking like, well, if YouTube is showing my stupid face to a bunch of people and they know that if they click a VOD, it's not worth their time, then YouTube is getting signal that the blue main series is not as valuable, right? So I think that the live stream VODs are having a negative impact on the click-through rate and metrics of the primary series, right? Does that make sense? I know that this is like very inside baseball and like nobody cares other than a few creators, but maybe Ming knows what I'm talking about here. Okay, so I have the pencil. I've got everything connected. Let's get started. And Heidi definitely knows my attitude and, philosophy on this from the guitar channel. Hey, what's up, Geometry? Good to see you, bro. How are you? Okay. What am I doing here? I've got this thing right here. Yeah. All right. We got the pencil back. I can finally do math again. Okay. So today I want to be more focused than yesterday. Yesterday was fun. I chatted a whole bunch. Today, I kind of want to just rip through a bunch of problems. I haven't written them in yet. I could copy paste them from the PDF, but that's kind of boring. I've done the first problem from sections 1, 2, 3. Have I done a problem from section 4 yet? Yes. Have I done a problem yet from section 5? Rational numbers. Yeah. All right. So, it's a good problem to have. The fact that this one video or this one video series is successful enough that I need to redesign my my freaking live stream. Hey, that's a good problem to have. Can't complain too much. All right, rational numbers. What's the first problem? Solve for A in the following. Solve for A in part A. 2A equals 3/4. All right, not too shabby. 3A over 5 equals -7, or -7. And -5A over 2 equals 3/8. I'm a little disappointed in this as an exercise. I don't know. Lang's first exercises in the first 2 sections had a cool structure that the first 2 exercises were very much more theoretical and kind of proof oriented. Oh, I am reading chat right now. Yeah, the first exercises in sections 1, 2, and 3 were all proof oriented. I think in section 3 it just said prove part 2 of the theorem. Or something. Or prove the part of the theorem that we did not prove in the section. What was it exactly? And I was just oh god, that's the exact same exercise as his graduate level books. The same exact wording would be in a graduate level book. Prove, fill in the details on the proof of theorem, 134 or something. It was something like that. Yep. Exercise 1. Give the proofs for the cases of Theorem 1 which were not proved in the text. In Chapter 3, Chapter 3 was a little more calculation-based, but there were 6 parts, and they were all fairly non-trivial. These are a little trivial of problems. I'm kind of surprised at Lang. Yeah, I don't know. Not as impressed right now. Oh yeah, I wanted to respond to this comment earlier. Yash, let me know if you're still here. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, Yash, you are my target audience, honestly. I love graduate level math. I'm coming back to math after being away from it for a long time in my life. I'm coming back to it, and I'm trying to rebuild my skill and start self-studying and, have math as a hobby for myself, learn new math. But right now, my primary audience is teaching, and teaching at the high school, middle school level. Ideally to students who really want to learn, but Yeah, but see, Math with Ming, like, it's a different approach. I feel like maybe he's mixing the strategy in the different sections. Like, let me show you. Where is it? I'm so annoyed that this PDF doesn't dark mode correctly. Every other PDF does, but like these are the first exercises in the book. Like, I know that that doesn't look that hard to you or me, right? Like, prove this identity. But like these are the first exercises in the book, and there are 10 of them in a row with the word justify each step in it. And then right after that, there's 3 in a row that say show that this fact. And it's like ever so slightly subtly different, like show that the additive inverse of these things are this, or like how do you show that the negative of a number is another number. That requires you to like really read and understand the proofs from the section. And then problem 14, he starts giving you good old grade school math, right? Oh yeah. Oh, wait a minute. This is just this. This is the conceptual version of the same thing. So, I mean, it's just a very different approach, if that is the intent. He has, I mean, maybe he's just mixing the approaches. Like what I'm talking about, in section 2, yes. In section 2, there are calculation problems first, but still, like this is fairly conceptual, I feel. Like, express these into like powers of primes before we've even talked about prime factorization. Like Lang has only introduced rules for multiplication, but he's already hinting forward to unique factorization. And I don't know, these are fairly involved. Like there's a mix of proof and computational problems, very much. That's the whole idea of this book. I mean, but he obviously has so many more proof problems, and it's high school, middle school math with a proof lens. But there are some calculation problems. But after, in my opinion, yeah, these are calculations. Yeah, and they're harder than like the first these would be like the challenge problems or something in a lot of books. But these are the first ones learning multiplication in this book, right? But you do those before you do more straightforward, like these look much more familiar from school, right? And I love how in the book he says this kind of stuff, like expand as sums of powers of x. You might want to read or at least skim the section on polynomials later in the book. Like, by the way, if you're curious about these objects, look ahead to chapter 13. These are actually there's a lot of theory around these things. So there's, even in these first calculation problems, there's already some concepts in there. And like he's kind of giving the web and giving a look forward to, oh, in the future, these are not just arbitrary applications of this poetry, as he said. He called this poetry in the book, y'all. And it is poetry. A minus b squared is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So you just apply that to each of these concrete examples. It's just that right now, a is 2 and b is the product of 4 and x, but we use, you use that substitution into this general fact. This is what you need to know. So to complete my thought here, like this is a theorem. Theorem 1, a and b are positive integers. The sum of two even integers is even. Sum of an even and an odd is odd. And in this proof, we will only prove the second statement and leave the others as exercises. Like, this is not something you see in high school books very often. It's beautiful. It's, like, really lovely. So, like, we'll prove the first case and leave the others as an exercise. And then, guess what? The very first exercise says, give the proofs for the cases of Theorem 1 which were not proved in the text. Like, I didn't even read the section. I just jumped right to the exercise sets, which is my preferred way to learn a book, or especially review or relearn a topic. Just go straight to the exercises. And on this one, I was like, oh, I have to read the section. That's awesome, because this is the exact same wording in like his like graduate level books. The first exercise says exactly, give the proofs for the cases of Theorem 1 which were not proved in the text. It's word for word the same exercise as a graduate level book, which just makes me smile. And so now what I'm finally getting at here is I'm feeling a little let down. I'm a reaction streamer right now. I don't know if you realize that. I'm feeling a little let down by this exercise. That's just like, really? Wait, really? You didn't have something more interesting? Like, you couldn't have left part of a proof? Like, part of, like, a theorem proof to be the first exercise or something? I mean, maybe it's possible that he's trying to do, like, a confidence regaining thing. Like, okay, somebody starts this book with high confidence, they hit the first exercise set, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, I have to show things about letters. Wait a minute, okay, I think I got these. Give the proofs of things. Okay, I'm losing interest. And then maybe he's just trying to rebuild confidence right now. So if this is like exercise set, not dollar, oops. 1-1, maybe 1-2. 1-2, you gain a little confidence because it's a frickin', the first few exercises are calculations, and then 1-3 is literally give the proof of fill in the details on the proof of Theorem 1 or whatever of the first theorem. And maybe he wants to regain some confidence again here. Also, what's up on Twitch? Psycho Kowalski, how's it going, bro? Good to see you. I can't believe you're watching me right now. Psycho Kowalski hates math. He's one of my guitar fans. If I write a collection of exercises, I'll put computation problems first and proof questions next, so readers can discover the pattern in computations and then write the proof for the general case. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen most, like, this kind of standard approach is. And I've just found it very delightful to me that Lang has gone the opposite direction. Concepts first, concepts, and then computation. So this is the first exercise set that really bucks the trend there. I mean, exercise set 2, hiss. Psycho Kowalski. Hiss. Like, are you, like, hissing at me like a cat right now, or is my microphone hissing? Baby turkey's still going strong. Bro, wait. Leo, get a photo. I imagine you already have a photo. Share it to the Fur Babies channel in Discord. That counts, I think. Feathery Fur Babies. I keep changing the name. At times it's Kitties or Kitties, etc. Just because Luna is such a prominent character. Yeah, I want to see these baby turkeys. That sounds cute. Okay, so I'm disappointed. I don't know why he would do this. I'm very surprised. I don't want to do that problem. I mean, I guess, sure. Solve for A. How do you solve for A in a problem like this? You multiply both sides by 4. If I'm going to be annoyingly formal or something. Therefore, 8A equals 3. Therefore, A equals 3/8. Or you could have just divided both sides by 2 from the very beginning. You could do multiply both sides by 1/2 times 2A equals 1/2. 1/2 times 3/4. Therefore, 1A equals 3/8. Therefore, A is 3/8. So I'm filling in these extra details of like, how exactly do you divide both sides of an equation? Like, maybe Lang was a Bourbachian, so I guess his way of doing things are understandable. Is he? I always thought that he was like an anti-Bourbachian. I mean, well, I don't know. I've enjoyed his texts. Like, I've always found them readable. Like, kind of like there's a lot of exposition and like more concepts in paragraphs. And one thing that's very clear about his style is that he shuns symbols. He really doesn't like logical symbols, like the implication arrows or IFF even. Like he really shuns shorthand. I haven't read any proper Bourbaki textbooks, but I mean, this people say that it's like trying to systemize into like a super rigorous, like logical organization, kind of, kind of computer-like of like lemma, just definition, lemma, theorem, proof, corollary, like everything being in individual boxes. And my understanding is like there's just less exposition and more just boxed theorem proof style. But I've never actually read Bourbaki, so I haven't read his undergrad algebra. I'm very curious about that because I have his graduate algebra, and it kind of beat me up when I tried to read it. I could follow it. I could read the text, but I couldn't work many of the exercises. I could get some of them, but I want to come back to it sometime. His graduate algebra is beautiful, but it's hard. It's really hard. How are you guys doing? I'm doing okay. I'm chilling. Today, the stream title is chapter, I don't know, whatever. And it's kind of one of the topics of the stream today. I don't know. I just kind of feel like getting more unstructured and make it more obvious that these streams are not the freaking course. This is not my primary content. Nobody's supposed to be watching these after the fact. If YouTube is recommending my stupid face, you should click on it and say hi and stop by for 5 minutes and then go back to doing math, right? But like, nobody should click on my stupid face if I'm not live. You should just be studying math. like if you can't say hi, then what's the point? Like if we can't like talk back and forth, like what's the point? We're here to hang out. Yeah, exactly. That's the culture and stream that I want to be building. It's like this is office hours or hangout. This is like, it's not even office hours at all. That's more like the weekend discussion group, which is now also its own separate playlist and separate thumbnails. That's office hours. This is study group. This is study group. We're at a library and working on our own stuff and interrupting each other. So my idea, let me see, because Lang's just so clever, dude. He's just very clever and witty. So, like, I'm a little skeptical that... No, I'm just... What's in the text? I'm guessing... Let me read the text for the first time. I don't know how that magnifying glass thing pops up. Let's read the text. No, well, wait. Let's see. Yeah, no, he shows the process to solve a linear equation that requires rationals. Yeah, he shows the process to calculate or to solve a rational linear equation. Where does it start? This is kind of a longer section, I feel. Okay. We cannot divide by 0. I wish... Yeah, I mean, this kind of thing is very standard. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it right now. In my course, in my series, I'm already treating this a little bit different. I've already talked about a couple of things that are more of an abstract algebraic thing. I'm disappointed. Maybe I'm just waking up grumpy today, which I think is partly part of this today. But, yeah, now we're at the exercises. Okay, so what I don't like... I don't know. Oh, how do I put this in words? How do I frame this? What I don't like is that he immediately just goes to division. Speaking of division and quotients, and in particular, what I just don't really dislike is that he just says in like bold letters, like, we cannot divide by 0. Don't forget, we cannot divide by 0 like this, right? I don't like it because he doesn't give any justification for why, and that we must always be sure that n is not 0. He doesn't. I'm really surprised that he doesn't try to. I mean, he's a smart guy. Like, he knows what he's doing. It's just like who's the audience? Who's the audience for this book? Like, I think that's my criticism a little bit. It's just like kind of mixed of who is the audience for this book? Is it people relearning this stuff, or is it learning for the first time? Because I think when you learn about fractions for the first time, you probably don't call them multiplicative inverses, right? I think that would be a bad idea. But if you're coming back and learning, what's a good contrasting color? Red is the only decent one right now. Do I have black? Yeah, black doesn't really show up enough. How's purple? Purple's okay. What I'm going to do in my course is tell you all that division is a lie. Division is a lie, just the same way that we defined subtraction as addition of a negative. And Lang does this. Lang defines and says that the definition of subtraction, like he says that it's just shorthand. But subtraction is just addition by a negative number. I'm going to similarly tell people, remember how we've said that division is the inverse of multiplication, or it's the opposite of multiplication? That really literally is true. That's super seriously is true. If we have an equation ax equals b, then to solve this equation, what is it exactly what is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm looking for? I mean, certainly, yes. So not ax equals b, but what we want to do is solve ax equals 1, or in other words, even better, we want to find a new number which we call a inverse, so that when you multiply it with a inverse, any number times this other number, that they multiply and equal 1. So the same way that we imagine that we can add another number to a positive number and go backwards to 0, the same way that we invent negative numbers, we are going to invent a solution to this equation. Because in the integers, the only ways that you can solve that equation would be 1 times 1 equals 1, or negative 1 times 1 equals positive 1. These are the only two solutions to AB equals 1. And maybe this is just too formal. Maybe this is just getting a little too abstract. But I think starting with something like this, this equation has no solutions in the integers. Right? Am I being dumb? No. 1 times 1 is 1, and negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. This equation has two solutions in the integers. But if we want to be able to solve that equation for any number a, then we need to define b. We invent some other number that creates a multiplicative inverse. Then, therefore, if that is true, then look at this. Wait. If that's true, we would need to be able to solve this equation. This is where I'm trying to get to. We need to invent a new, define like a new a new number that we could call zero inverse, or right now we're really solving this equation, 0x equals 1. But the problem with that is that we have a theorem that 0 times anything must always be 0. Even if we invented new numbers, we want to maintain this older theorem from section, from the previous section, section 3. So, therefore, even if we invent a new number, we want to remain consistent with our previous mathematical facts. We don't want to create an inconsistency. Therefore, this is the only equation that does not... 0 is the only number that cannot have a multiplicative inverse. Then, instead of always saying that we're multiplying a times a inverse, that's just another label, that's just another way to write 1 over a, or write division by a. These are all just different notations, different ways to write the same thing. But what we truly are doing is multiplying by this invented secondary number, which, yes, we go back to the idea that you have a chocolate bar and you're really happy eating the entire chocolate bar, but now if your friend joins you and you want to give them an equal amount of the chocolate bar, that you split it in half. And so now what used to be 1, we split into 2 parts. So I get 1 part of the chocolate bar out of 2, and my friend gets the other part of the chocolate bar, right? And similarly, now if we break it into parts, a part is 1 out of a splittings, equal splittings of a number. Then I'd probably also try to connect this to partitions, which I introduced to kids, that the partitions of 4 include, this partition where all the parts are equal. Now we're inventing a new number where when you add all of those together, all of these small parts together, when you add all 4 parts of this chocolate bar together, then you get the entire thing. I'll need to organize some of those thoughts a little bit more, but what I really don't like right now, that I'm disappointed by Lang right now. He just says this without any justification. In this book that's meant to fix the way that we teach high school math. I think Lang doesn't understand why we can't divide by 0. That's my best explanation. Lang just doesn't know. What do you all think? Any thoughts, y'all? Any reactions? I didn't dare to start with Lang's grad algebra. We're here to hang out. Exactly. I can. You need some milk. Me? That I'm cranky right now, or what? Can you define infinity? Very, very big. Yeah. Yes. I think that's a pretty good definition, actually. Huge, enormous. Just like we invent the moon landing and reindeer, we invent multiplicative inverse. Exactly. Yes. Can you prove A inverse is unique, though? Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think I'm going to do that, but that's a good one. I think... $11 doesn't have one either. Took it away due to poor behavior. Hey, what's up, Retrovier? I think I'm on this one thing. I think I'm a little bit better than Lang. It's just one. Yeah, Leah's video is awesome. Really, truly reminds me of like the hour-long, in-depth documentary by Adam Neely on AI specifically. Like, Leo, I imagine you've seen, because I know you're an Adam Neely kind of guy, like a fan, you've seen his video on AI, right? Specifically about AI and Suno and the impact on music. Lang definitely knows. I know. Of course, he definitely knows. It's just like, I think that he thinks it's like too heady for this book. I think he definitely considered it, and he's just not confident enough. He hasn't taught enough little kids. I think I'm gonna stand by this one. I think I've taught more little kids than Lang has. Unless he secretly, and maybe for all I know, maybe he volunteered all the time, like teaching kids or something. But I mean, obviously he's like a college professor and like freaking, math researcher. And I think that this is his lowest level book that he ever wrote. And it's intended for high schoolers or college algebra. Like this book is intended for high school or college algebra. And I don't know, man. I think that I think kids are more mature and intelligent than you give them credit for. Like, they can understand abstraction earlier than we often give them credit for. Maybe we can find a counterexample if we assume 1 divided by 0 is well defined. Actually, that's really perfect. Thank you, Ming. I'm going to do that. That's actually exactly what I'm going to do, because there are many. Like, oh, dude, that's great, actually. I will credit you on this one, because I think that this is a good idea. Because there's so many Facebook freaking memes or whatever. Yeah, I think I'll get a screenshot of one of those arguments that 1 equals 2 or something. Like one of those contradiction arguments. I'm sure you all have seen this, right? Like, tell me your phone number, and then divide that by this, and then add this, and then da-da-da. Like, some weird, convoluted little garden path of calculations, and then eventually you prove 0 equals 1 or something, right? Like, that's common. That's like a very common math joke mystery thing. I usually go, tell me your phone number and then thanks. Yeah. Right. I'm less intelligent than people assume. Contradictions are simply counterexamples to Kohn ZFC. I don't even know. Kohn ZFC, is that the converse of ZFC? Is that like the set of all incorrect statements or something? Assume 1 divided by 0 equals A, then by... Yeah, I can try to prove it, yes, algebraically, I'm sure, yes. I can prove it. I don't want to prove it. I mean, I might. I might prove it algebraically, properly, abstractly. It's just I need to keep in mind my target audience, which is not like I don't want to lose people. I think that doing a example of how those math jokes or those math curiosities work, like highlight exactly in the argument, here is where you're dividing by zero. It's really hidden. You don't realize it, but by subtracting this number earlier, now you have zero, and it's hidden, but right here is where you divide by zero. And that's why this meme proved that 0 equals 1 or something. I think that would actually be really perfect for my next basic math video. Assume 1 divided by 0 is a, then a is crazy. Yeah. I mean, I like to show this to kids this way. I don't think, like, to young kids, somebody less than 10, I've never tried to say we're solving the equation AB equals 1. I don't think I've ever tried to do that. Maybe to adults, I don't know. But certainly to high schoolers, and I think also to kids, I've also just shown this. You may or may not believe me, or like you don't need to know everything about what this image is showing. What, like, I mean, a high schooler does, and I would just explain it to them exactly as is. But to somebody younger, I'd say right here at the point 0, at this line, the graph is going infinitely up and infinitely down. So if this existed, then it needs to equal positive infinity. You can find the biggest, name any big number, and that line will eventually be bigger. Like it'll eventually, when x is small enough, the y value is as big as you imagine. It would need to simultaneously be positive infinity and negative infinity. So, like, this, and we have the fact that for any function, one value must connect to one. One value must map to one value. We should not have an x value that maps to two different y values. This is not a function. This is, I think that this is a decent way to justify that you can't divide by 0. If you did, you would have to have both positive infinity and negative infinity. Another reason is that infinity is not even a number. Infinity is not a number. It's undefined. So even 1 divided by absolute value of x, this is another step, another reason that you can't divide by 0. Even this still never, it gets as big as you want it to. It gets as, like, it never reaches a single value. We have something that we call an asymptote at this point. And then you get an opportunity to Infinity ain't a number, it's just how much your mama weighs. That's a good one. All right. Um, I mean, I think that this is also a decent way to try to justify that division by 0 is undefined. Like, we can't define it. If we did, the closest thing is that it approaches infinity. It gets arbitrarily big, but it never reaches a single number. Even if we consider that to be a definition and we define that to be infinity, even if we said that infinity was a number, then it needs to be equal to 2 separate numbers at the same time. And then even in that world, this is still not a function. And just a reminder to everybody, we say that this fails the vertical line test. Right? If you draw a vertical line on a graph and it crosses 2 points at the same time, then there's 2 y values for a single x value. So I think that I'm just going to skip this chapter and say that I'm going to rewrite this chapter because I don't like it for 2 major reasons already. I don't like this chapter. I'm just going to tell everybody in my series I stopped reading after 2 major mistakes. I just think that we can have a more conceptual first problem, and there was just so many things. Like, it's not just, I'm not just harping on this weak justification. I'm not just harping on this. I'm also unhappy that he's defining division as a special new operation as opposed to multiplication in disguise. Because we've learned that before. I remember when I was young, I had teachers who would insist that actually division is actually just multiplication by a fraction. Like, that is one of these facts that we've learned, but we don't like emphasize it on our standardized tests, at least. But I think we've all learned this, and now we get an opportunity to formalize it a little bit more. Like, what do you mean it's multiplication, like the inverse of multiplication or the opposite of multiplication? Those sorts of phrases. We are inventing a new number so that this equation always has solutions except for 0. Any thoughts? Any reactions? Like pedagogy right now is what I'm thinking about and practicing. You know, like, I'm not stuck on this problem. You know, it's literally the ring where you invert everything but 11. Oh, cool. Sick, dude. I've been, like, if you look at episode 5, I had an agenda item of clock math, and I realized it was just not going to fit in that video. So I took that out, but very, very, very soon I want to introduce edition mod 12. I want to get yeah, I guess we just write. Wait. Can you help me with my abstract algebra here? If I just write Z12 without more context, is that typically going to assume a group structure or a ring structure? And I mean, I think any decent author would clarify just by saying thought of as a group or thought of as a ring. But like, if I wanted to emphasize that I'm thinking of it as a group, I could write this, right? And if I wanted to emphasize that I'm as an additive group, I mean, and if I wanted to emphasize that I'm thinking of it as a ring, I can write this, right? Or the ring Z12. And I'm a little embarrassed about this, but Z12 cross, this is not an additive, or that's not a group, right? Or is it? Is every... It must be. What am I talking about? What you talking about? Everything, I think it satisfies all the... So, of course, you throw out 0, right? Oh, wait. No. Yeah. This is not a group, because the multiplicative element should be 1, not 0. And 3. 1 is not in the orbit of 3 for any multiplication. Yeah. So this is not a group. So I suppose if I wrote Z12, this is already... Well, Z12, I think, could be thinking of it as either an additive group or a ring. And certainly, this doesn't even make sense, but working with Z11 with any prime, then I can write this to mean the multiplicative group. But is there like a shorthand that more quickly says that think of Z12 as a ring? Because I want to do one video introducing additive patterns, additive cycles in the clock. Formalize that a little bit. Don't shy from the fact that we call this mod 12 or write it as Z12. And then another video showing multiplicative structure and multiplicative cycles. And either in that video or a future video, combine the two and show ring structure as well. All right, let me read chat. You have seen the Adam Neely video. Great. So this is a detour, isn't it? But in episode 5, I thought about adding my demo to kids for additive group cycles. My thoughts on analytical number theory. I really want to learn some. I think I'm going to do a Math Monday with Leo soon. You're working on it right now. That's hard. Do you have a mentor of any kind? Like, you should work with somebody to... Bob Edits, no offense, but I don't remember your mathematical journey level. Like, where are you on your math journey? What have you learned elementary number theory yet? Funny enough, you're asking that at a perfect time, because next week, y'all, we are beginning new number theory series. Not an evergreen series, like the blue thumbnails, although the reason I'm doing it is to pull ideas into the blue videos. But it will be one of the 3 primary sprints in my live streams. So this week is foundations, next week is number theory, and then the following week is algebra. And then we keep looping. I am going to be learning some with a certain Leo lectures. To aura farm hundreds of years after you die in a duel at age 20. That's actually the best explanation of Galois groups. That's actually probably I'm gonna steal that and claim it for myself. I made that up. I'm going to use that forevermore when people ask me why Galois is my favorite mathematician, or why do we study group theory? Like, what is a Galois group? What is Galois theory? Or like, why do we study Galois? Yeah, I'm absolutely going to steal that forever. Love it. To aura farm hundreds of years after you die in a duel at age 20. We need that level of romance brought back to math, dude. Like, we need that level of human drama and romance brought into the high school classroom. Like, we need that stuff. We need the fact that that freaking Erdos, was completely hooked on amphetamines, and he didn't even regret it. like we need that shit, dude. Like we study the beats in literature class, right? I mean, at least I did. You study the beats, and you have the maturity in high school to say, all right, drugs are bad, but Jack Kerouac and Burroughs and all them, they wrote some pretty awesome literature still. I think we just need that. We need that side that, like, some mathematicians are artists, and they died in duels, fighting over a girl. Like, we need that, I think, to motivate some kids. Ooh. CP1 to CP1. Okay. Thank you, dude. That sounds sick. I know that, I was thinking, I'm pretty sure you can formalize this and add a point at infinity. This is projective geometry, right? That you're talking about? We just say that both of those are the point at infinity, wherever I put it. Up here? Thank you. What does a 1 do in that? That's the projective complex plane? Something or other? Compactification, infinity, your mama joke. I would never fail the VLT, jumps less than 1 feet off the ground. The vertical line test, like how high you can jump? Okay. Yeah, math with Ming, exactly. Good that you're trying to motivate the issue of 1 divided by 0 rather than just stating it as a rule. That's exactly my point. Like, I always explain it. When it comes up with my tutoring students, I always will try an explanation of some kind. And depending on the student, if they're ready, I will try to do something like this. doesn't happen often. But I think for almost everybody, I always show this. If it existed, it would have to be positive and negative infinity, because this is the graph of 1 divided by a number. 2 problems with that. Infinity is not a number, and it would be approaching 2 different numbers at the same time, so it's not a function either. So I don't know. It's not rigorous. It's not fully rigorous, but it's still some kind of justification or some reason. This is a much better argument than bold. This is Lang's argument, is just bold typeface. This is proof by intimidation. This is a good chance for me when I do this video. This is called proof by intimidation. Hey, what's up? John Morgan, you are not late at all. Dude, I don't expect anybody to tune into these. Like, dude, you're not supposed to show up to these. If you do, it's nice. Stop by and say hi and let's chat math for a moment, but there's no such thing as late or anything like that for these. Thanks for being here, dude. John Morgan, what kind of... John Morgan von Bach. What kind of math are you studying? If I ask you to explain why we cannot divide by 0, John, what would be your explanation? Pedagogy this, pedagogy that. What you need to do is pet a doggy, bro. Okay. I will get my cat. How about that? I don't have a doggy, but I'm gonna... Boom, roasted. We are cat people, that's true. Z12 can mean whatever. Most likely Z12 is a ring. Oh, that's true. I should be writing Z/12Z, right? Dude, I'm relearning everything. You fixed me. You corrected me. First one was Z underbar 12 can mean anything you want it to. It's supposed to be Z/12. Ironically, if you put parens around the 12, it would be a different ring and also a rather strange way to write it. Ooh. Yeah, it's all context, sure. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, yeah. You're right. It is the group of integers. Yeah. My bad. It's not that you just throw out 0. You throw out all integers that are not coprime to 12, right? That are not, that don't have multiplicative inverses. Yes, my bad. That's right. So 3 would be thrown out. That's the example I was thinking of specifically. You see how rusty I am on this stuff? Yeah, of course. So Z12. Let's do it down here. Yeah, this one is going to be 1, 5, 7, 11, right? So this would be another exercise. I have my students try to find all of the generating additive elements of Z12 as an additive group, but I haven't yet had a student interested enough to get to like find all the generating elements of the multiplicative group. We'll get there someday. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and in practice, you just say what you mean like an adult. Just wondering if there's like a really like standard notation that people would use to distinguish. Yep, math with Ming streams. That's cool. I'll be interested in some abstract algebra content. We will be doing that. Foundations, number theory, algebra. Yep. Oh wow, is that a quote? Yeah, dude, Galois deserves a movie. I've always thought that we should totally have a movie. Like not enough people know about Galois. Like we should have one. I mean, it's not as dramatic as World War II, but you know, like Turing has a movie. Turing has a movie. Like, I feel like somebody could do a biopic of Galois somewhat similarly. Like, make it kind of like Les Miserables or something, and I don't know. Yeah, streams are fun. I mean, it's because you can like interact and chat with other people. Streams just have their benefits, dude. Say stuff. And this is not just like a boring one-directional lecture. Like being able to like really truly ask questions and interact back and forth like in a discussion session. Like I'm pitching myself to private schools as a teacher, and one of my claims is that we could restructure the classroom to be much more discussion oriented, like a lot like what I'm doing here. Like, let's all work on this together. You all ask questions. I'll answer. I'll go on rants. We'll see where the conversation takes us. If there's no questions, you'll get a pop quiz, or like that's just the expectation. If we run out of questions, we'll do a quiz, and let's just talk math and see where stuff goes. And I can answer questions and clarify about the text. Like that was like a level of maturity that my AP US history class was run with, and it was just awesome. It was actually awesome. I didn't like history, but then I did. Like I got through that class and I enjoyed it because it was so mature compared to my other classes. My first instinct would be to start with dividing 1 by 3 is making 3 equal parts for one person. Dividing by 2 gets you 2 equal parts. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so try to explain any push-ups today. Nobody has told me. Where are we on likes? I'm trying not to check the likes. Y'all are mean. Okay, if I do 10 right now, then I can get 10 in before we hit 20. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Big epic question. Ooh, yeah, and addicts. See, that's another question. What's up, Locke? Yeah, Lang already has 3 strikes and he's out. I think I'm just gonna skip his section on the rational numbers. I think I'm gonna write my own section or something. I don't know. I don't like his section so far. Hi, Luna. You're in the way. One day push-up cam? No, probably not. Too much work. Not worth it. If I wanted to become a full-time YouTuber, I would add a push-up cam. What's up, dude? Alright, I did 20. I just went ahead and assumed. Dang. Alright, so I need to add the little message. 10 likes equals 10 push-ups. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Today we are actually trying to get a little more math done because I have a new Apple Pencil. I spent a big chunk of my little paycheck that's coming in from this viral video, and it bought me an Apple Pencil. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, Locke, I want your reaction to this too. Here. If you can read without all the text that's here. Here's Lang's introduction of the rational numbers. I mean, you've already heard me probably complaining about a few things, but like, what are my criticisms right now? And if you want, I have another criticism about the exercises. Because I always read a section by starting with the exercises. So I didn't like the first exercise. Oh, you're getting an ad? Yeah. Sorry about that. I turned it down to low frequency, so there's that for you. I'm trying. At 80, I can't even do the 10 push-ups, let alone keep up with the math, but I do enjoy checking in once in a while. How's Luna doing? She's doing good. She's cuddling with me. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Oh, look at this one. Hey. Yeah, I turned down the ad frequency to low, so I don't know. I hear that you can get ad blockers. I pay for YouTube Premium Lite, which for me is worth it. Like, YouTube to me is like one of my most valuable resources, and I freaking hate ads. So to me, it's worth it. I've canceled like all my other subscriptions except like I canceled Spotify. I've canceled most of the time Netflix. We recently temporarily reactivated our Netflix for 1 month. YouTube is the one subscription I'm having a very hard time canceling. I tried canceling it, and then I went back to Premium Lite just because I really, really don't like ads. I tried just deleting YouTube and stop watching YouTube completely as well. Beautiful girl. Yes, she is a beautiful girl. That just didn't work for me. Like, as a creator, I can't stop watching. I have to watch other creators to get inspiration, see what other people are doing, network with other people. You can't. If you want to be a creator and grow as a creator, like, I think it would be impossible to not consume, because yeah, you'd like lose inspiration if nothing else. That's a big one. Yeah, she's so cute. Yeah, those ad block apps work. It's just such a cat and mouse game between the two. Ad blockers versus YouTube. I'm sure that they'll improve it, and hopefully you can avoid the ads in the future. If I understand correctly, please, if there are any channel members lurking, please let me know, because it's not clear to me. YouTube does not make it very obvious if, like, it's very inconsistent. Maybe Ming, maybe you know this. Do channel members avoid ads in live streams? Because I know that it doesn't have an effect on videos. like a channel member will still get ads, even if they're a channel member on a regular video of yours. But I've seen somewhere that YouTube does suppresses ads for channel members on live streams. And I've seen conflicting info out there. I was dealing with fractions earlier, doing polynomial division. Yeah, my end conclusion is that someone should ban negatives. Worst experience I've had in math. Yeah, polynomial division's a fun one. Like, I always like reminding people about that. That's like one of these facts that people like learn and then quickly forget. Polynomial division algorithm is like really quite useful. All right, so you don't have any criticisms here. Nobody's commenting a criticism or two. How do I summarize this? I don't like that he's defining division as a operation. I mean, it really seems like he's like taking such a quotient, like he's implying, if nothing else, or like at least letting the reader come to this with their prior background, their prior experience, thinking of division as a operation separate from multiplication. And I just don't, it must be in here. Okay. Remark, in the next section, we shall deal with multiplicative inverses. There you can see how the rule for cross multiplication can in fact be proved. That's super weird. To me, this is a super weird organization, because the next section is on even and odd integers and I think divisibility. Like, why introduce multiplicative inverses in the next section? I would want to define division and quotients, rational numbers, as multiplication. I guess he's only speaking of rational numbers for the most part, and then speaking of multiplying rational numbers, he's certainly allowing you to think of division, though, everywhere through this section. It's a little long of a section. I think I need 2 separate theory videos on this one. And then all of his first exercises are so computational. I wish that he matched the previous exercise sets and gave some more conceptual problems for the first ones. in this. Like, maybe not go as far as to prove that there's no cube root of 2 or something, but something. Like, fill in the details on some proof, or construct examples of this theorem, or something. Something just like a little more conceptual than what you are used to thinking of as like solving simple elementary math. I feel that's a really weak first set of exercises. I'm just surprised because I've really liked the book so far. So far, I think that this book is excellent, but this section is not doing it for me. So that was one. He does, like, he allows you to think of division. As an operation. Like, and then says, with no justification, we cannot divide by 0. It's just a proof by intimidation here. It's just bold. Like, super bold. Just remember, we cannot divide by 0. And that's how we've all learned it throughout our lives. Like, this fact, like, there is no, you can't divide by 0 or else the world will just collapse on itself or something. Like, if you divide by 0, everything breaks in math. But I think that you can give some kind of justification. You don't have to just yell the fact. You can show the graph of 1 over x and say, 2 problems with this. Infinity is not a number. Also, it would be positive and negative infinity at the same time. So there's 1 reason, 2 reasons why you can't divide by 0. If we want to get a little more formal, a little more technical about it, previously we have this theorem that 0 times anything is 0. And what the multiplicative inverses are solutions to AB equals 1. Like, 0 times anything is never 1, even if we invented new numbers. This previous theorem, we want to still be consistent. 0 times anything is 0, not even if we invented a new number. This is important, otherwise all the rest of our math breaks. We have contradictions. Like, even just saying, if we could divide by 0, we have mathematical contradictions like 0 equals 1. Like, any kind of justification. All he does is just bold and just says, we cannot divide by 0. Like, there's 3 major strikes in like 2 sentences for me on this section, so I'm losing a little bit of trust. What do you all think? Thoughts? The text feels fine to me. I thought it was supposed to be symbolic, but maybe that is the abstract person inside me. When constructing field of fractions or localization of rings, you treat fractions as purely symbolic expression with operations that behave like rationals. I think I got there eventually, that, yeah, we are constructing a new, like, we're inventing new numbers, constructing new numbers that solve this equation, AB equals 1. Like, this is the equation that they are designed to satisfy. And we call it a multiplicative inverse of A. Like, the multiplicative inverse of A is A inverse or 1 over A or something. In the integers, oh my gosh. In the integers, I pointed out, we do have 2 solutions for 1 and -1, but A only can be 1 and -1, and we want to be able to build this for any number A. I'm following the posts with Lang and enjoying them. Hey, thanks so much, Bob Miller. Appreciate it. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I'm very passionate about math, and I'd love to have the opportunity to, indoctrinate little kids before they're too old. If I can share pure math, with people who are teenagers and they have a lot of free time, then maybe they can become mathematicians later on in life. We need more mathematicians in the world, I think. I don't know, I just treat it as notation instead of division when I don't want to think about real numbers. Square root of 2 not rational is a great one. Yeah, of course. Like, that one should be in the section, and it's really nice that it's in here. The section's just a little long, I think. I just split it into part 1, part 2, or something. Which I guess just goes against his style preferences, but I just don't like that. No matter what, his justification for this is bold. Bolding is not a good argument. Yelling is not an argument. Yelling is not a proof. He knows reasons. He's a smart guy who's written lots of very advanced books, to say the least. He knows reasons why. I feel he decided not to make the argument to this audience, to the audience for this book, and I think that's a mistake. I think that we can make this argument to younger audiences. I really do think so. All right. Oh, she's sleeping. She's sleeping. You can't see. She's sleeping. Oh, no. Don't move. Don't move. Hi, Luna. She has no problems with the rational numbers. She has no concerns. No concerns with rational numbers. Hey. No, I already did my 20th. I thought we already hit 20. What's up, dude? Shifu B. Nice to meet you. Hi, Luna. Okay, I might wrap this up early today. I've been doing like super long streams recently. I don't want to be doing like 5-hour math streams. That's too much. That's just too much, dude. It's had to go for a few minutes. What did I miss? I gave my reasons that I don't like the text. I feel like you saw it, but you didn't respond to them, so maybe not. My biggest problem is that his only justification for this is bold. It's just 4 hours is okay. Yeah. No. I mean, the thing is that I also live stream classical guitar. By the way, shout out. Classical guitar, jcpractices, original channel. Not a primary channel. Equal priority. Classical guitar. All of the music that we're listening to, in fact, is me. So if you all like classical music and classical guitar in particular, or if you're curious and want to see what that would be like, it's quite fun. And it's a study with me type stream, similar to this. And I just feel that, like, not only have I been neglecting that audience, who, like, I put a lot of work into, like, building and trying to, I just, like, really appreciate that audience over there, even if that channel's not as successful as this one right now. Not only am I, like, neglecting that channel, but also I just haven't been practicing as much guitar. for myself. I haven't been making the progress that I'm looking for. And 5 hours of math is too much time. Like I haven't been efficient, for sure. And I just need to use this as like a forcing function. If you all know the word, a forcing function to force me to get more efficient and get done in 2 hours what I've been doing in 5 hours. So let's keep going. My complaints are proof by intimidation. All he does is just bold this justification. There's no, forcing function. There we go. Nice definition there. All he does is just bold the argument. There's no argument. He just makes a claim and bolds it, but doesn't give any justification why. I think, yes, he is coming from the abstract algebra point of view of treating these as symbolic constructions and inventions or something. But his audience for this book is thinking of division. Whether or not he wants them to, they're reading the section and thinking of division, of rational numbers being A divided by B. I think that's somewhat okay if you define 1 over B as the multiplicative inverse of A, and then A divided by B is that number added to itself A times. I think that there's nothing wrong with that perspective, I feel. But here's just such a great chance, like when teaching somebody fractions, to get them thinking again about associativity and commutativity. Multiplication is associative. Division, again, is not. We need parentheses here, right? Can you construct an example for yourself where you need this? 1, 2, and 3, I think will do it. Let's see. Does it? 1 divided by 2 divided by 3. On the left-hand side, 1 divided by 2 divided by 3 is 1/6. On the right-hand side, by properties that we know later on or something, this is 3/2, right? So the two don't match. That's a major problem. And it's very similar to subtraction. It's very convenient to write it when it's unambiguous and think of it as division when it's unambiguous, but we should keep in mind that A divided by B, I think we should think of this as A times 1 over B, or A times B inverse. This gives us the opportunity to speak of multiplicative inverses and introduce that notation of B inverse. And then we we can write this correctly, right? That this is A times 1 over B times 1 over C. Because the first part is in parentheses. And then now it's all multiplication, so I don't need the parentheses. And by properties of the rationals, we can write it unambiguously like this. Whereas A divided by B divided by C is A times the multiplicative inverse of B times the multiplicative inverse of C. Okay. AC over B is not the same as A over BC. Right? Oh, damn. Lockheed, you keep missing my explanation? Are you serious? I keep trying to explain what I don't like. I'm tired of saying this, so just rewind it and watch it. But I guess Levi's here too. We cannot divide by 0. Yes, like this is his entire argument. And we all know that, and even little kids will say it like a mantra. But nobody, in my experience, can explain why. In my experience as a tutor, tutoring young kids and high schoolers, nobody can explain why. If they explain why, it's like the universe will break, or we will get contradictions. And that's an okay explanation, but I think we can do better. If it existed, it would have to be positive and negative infinity. Infinity is not a single value, and there would be 2 different values. So those are 2 reasons. But a little more formally, what is division? It's multiplication by an inverse. Why doesn't 0 have an inverse? If it did, we would have 0x equals 1. But our previous theorem in the previous section said that 0 times anything must equal 0. 0 times anything has to equal 0. Even if we invented new numbers, this theorem, this fact, needs to stay true. Otherwise, we get contradictions and everything in math breaks. So, can we fill in some details on why math would break? Let's study chemistry today? No, we're going to practice classical guitar, actually. I hope you join me for that. Whoops. So, I don't know. I think there's 3 strikes, 3 things I don't like about this section so far. You're actually literally getting my first reactions to this section right now. Reading this book, I jump right to the exercise sets, and I was not thrilled to see that this was the first exercise. This is the most computational, and not only computational, but simple computational exercise so far in the book. It's it feels like a problem that we got in elementary school, by 5th grade, 3rd grade. I don't even remember when do you add fractions? Somewhere around there. This feels like a problem when you were a kid, but this book is intended for high schoolers or college students preparing for calculus. I think we can do better for the first exercise. All the other exercise sets so far have they have not started with exercises that said, calculate this. All of the previous exercise sets started with something more conceptual. Number 7, let's create a new definition, or prove that, show that. I don't like seeing Lang using the phrase solve for. That's surprising. Even number 3 would be better to me as a first exercise. like convert some fractions to lowest form, I feel like that's still fairly conceptual. Thinking about the fact that numbers can be represented multiple ways in the rational numbers, I think that would be a better first exercise. So my first impression was that the first exercise kind of sucks. And then I started reading the section, and I don't even see him defining division as multiplication by inverses. And he has a proof by intimidation on this argument. He doesn't give an argument at all. He just yells like a mantra, we cannot divide by 0, but why? Why not? We cannot divide by 0 just because it would break kind of consistency in the math. We just say division by 0 is not defined, but we can make it work by defining a property. I don't know. And then build theory, keeping the consistency, but we haven't found any meaningful use of it, so it's not worth it. You can, as I understand, by adding a point at infinity. And Leo was just talking about this, notated CP1. I think that's the complex projective plane. I don't know what the 1 does in that thing. But, I think that you can add the point at infinity. Then this example 1 over x has one value, infinity. 1 in CP1 is dimension. Oh, okay, thank you. So like of it as a vector space? Oh, okay. So as opposed to like I see. The dimension is 1 as opposed to vectors in the complex plane or something. So like maybe just making up another alternative. Maybe it's P, and then we're talking P1 versus P2 versus P3 or something, as opposed to C. Is that what you mean? I don't know. Not vector spaces, but topological spaces. Well, wouldn't they be both? Or dimension, like a topological dimension? We're reaching into areas that I can't speak of. There are lines through the origins. Yeah, I just wonder okay, I'll look into this later. That's why I have a to-do. I'd like to read about this. I'll look into it. All right, thanks everyone for watching. It was a pleasure. I really do want to be pushing into 2-hour streams and trying to dimension in terms of manifold dimension. Okay, I vaguely remember manifold dimensions from a long time ago, but it's been a long time. Calculus on manifolds. A tiny little white book, scary book. Complex projective line CP1 is a set of all one-dimensional complex linear subspaces. I know that infinity on the plane is one additional point. That's all I know, though. I got an ad. Sorry about that. I put it to low frequency. That's best I got. Sorry, I'm gonna run ads like any other YouTuber ever. It feels wrong not to, and it's best to set expectations early, because if I build up an audience that's expecting a completely free ad-free experience and then try to add it later, then people get upset. I think it's I don't know. I wish that somebody here were Nat's Fine Ads are good. I think so. I mean, I love the idea that I can make 99.9% of my content free. Um, you know, I really see it like the only thing I'm offering that is not free are the paid small courses, like the paid small groups on the weekends. Live stream VODs, dude, if it were me, I would just unlist them every time. Like, live streams, I discourage people from watching live streams. But some people like them. Some people apparently want to work through, especially the old linear algebra ones. So, who am I to say no, right? Like, I may as well just offer them a paywall. Like, I talked about this earlier in stream. I am going to get a little more strict about immediately members only lives. And I don't love it, but because I like the idea of offering stuff for free to people more, but the problem is that YouTube is showing the streams to a bunch of people when I'm not live, like as if it were an interesting video to watch afterward. And I don't want to try to structure these lives as something that's intended to be an evergreen video. If I could select an option that said don't recommend or something, but keep it public, I would do that in a heartbeat and just keep them public, at least the recent ones. But I don't like that people's first impressions for my channel, when somebody tells them, like, search math can be a hobby, and then the first thing that they see is actually me holding Luna and like my stupid face, and then they click that. That is happening. Or like I'm going into the metrics and I see unsubscribes happening, like in the live streams. I also see some subscribes happening, but a lot of unsubscribes too. So it's like I think it's creating not just a negative first impressions to viewers to keep the VODs up, but also I think it's having probably a negative impact on like click-through rate and algorithm trust, like algorithm karma and everything. Yeah. Maybe change the title. What kind of VOD is just the video recording? I mean, that's one approach. But yeah, I could do a VOD channel, but then it's just, I don't think I'm large enough that it's worth it yet. I mean, maybe someday. I mean, I considered that, like, once also, what's up, Leo? Welcome back. I considered that once the new blue thumbnail series popped off, and now most of my subscribers are here for that, I could start a new live channel and just live stream to that other new channel. But then you're resetting the freaking monetization clock and like restarting from zero, because this is a major product criticism of YouTube. Even if you're monetized on one channel, you can't create like a sub channel, like a separated new channel that starts monetized. Like you have to start over, and it takes a very long time for a stream. And like, I don't know, it's just like very techno-feudalist. It's like really super techno-feudalist to think of separating the streams to a new, fresh channel. I could upload the VODs to a separate channel, but then that's extra work on my end for something I'm doing every single day, which is not a good idea, not worth it. I just leave the live on and do chores at the same time. That's the intent. That is actually the intent of this stream. It's meant to be a study with me, work with me, hang out with me, chat with me kind of thing. Yeah, somebody could do chores to a replay. I keep saying VOD. That's a term from Twitch and live streamers, but replay. Just think replay. Like after the live is over, the replay. I like the word replay. I think that's just immediately clear, like a much more general purpose branding. Yeah, the replay. Comment whenever I feel like saying things. Yeah, but that's the point. Like, it's intended for people who are here live, and you should be doing something else. You should be doing your chores, doing the dishes, getting groceries, studying math. Some people can study math with me ranting, which is impressive, I guess. But if I change the title, what do you suggest changing the title to? When I'm on live stream before like 5 p.m., it means I'm not doing much today / chilling. Yeah. Math and chat. No, I don't like that. Yeah, Leo, your new video is freaking awesome. New Adam Neely of Pure Math just dropped. Pretty awesome, dude. Very, I mean, I can tell it's like quite high effort. Yeah, you deserve the success it's getting. It's already on a really good path. Like for a day to be at 5K views is really good. Ooh, and a blog post sounds really cool. Good idea. A blog post is a better follow-up than like making a video to try to do like a behind the scenes video, which some people are asking for me. Some people have been asking like, oh, maybe you should do like meta channel videos. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to go that direction. I want to do lectures. Like I want to do I just want to stay focused on the math. Unless you're here live and we can chat about whatever. But at least in the main series, I want it to be math, and let's talk math pedagogy, especially for high schoolers. High schoolers and math for adults, even more than high schoolers, like much more than high schoolers. The idea of how do you teach math to adults as a hobby? What topics do you include? What topics do you focus on? How rigorous, how proofy do you get if it's adults learning math for fun? What kind of math does somebody who's an adult want to learn? Like I have my biases toward these, pure math books, but I don't know. For all I know, like somebody who's studying math as an adult might want to do a lot of calculations and see engineering math. Yeah, people get busy once the school term begins. Levi, completely expected. No need to, justify it or anything. It happens. There's kind of seasons, like seasonality. People come in and out of being regulars of streams, and, probably be here still. Trying to make sure the thumbnails and titles of the videos meant for smaller audiences look quite distinct from those for wide audiences. Me too. I mean, I think that's really important to me. That's why my basic math series has no face in it, pretty clean blue background, giant yellow book, focus on the topics. It doesn't look, it looks like a little more just straight up, this is a math video about this book. I feel it's having like very distinct different titles is a way to distinguish that, which reminds me that I've just separated some of them, like the members only ones are now in a separate playlist, and they have like a black background instead of a blue background. So I think that'll just make those much more clearly a separate series, which I think will help. That's a good approach, but that hasn't been enough, is what I'm trying to say. Is even with that approach, people are still clicking on the live streams and unsubscribing. Like, I hoped that people would just understand, like, ignore the ones with the cat or John smiling in it. Ignore the ones with the face. Only pay attention to the blue ones, but no, people are clicking on them and then unsubscribing. There's a decent number of people clicking and subscribing, but I'd rather lose out on that growth than lose the people interested in the primary content. Recent lean drama, yes, actually, Lockheed, Alvaro Alonso, that dude, Robledo, I think is Alvaro Lozano Robledo. He has a brand new video about it from this morning, actually. I'm like way too tapped into recent videos from people. But, yeah, Professor Robledo has one. Lean... I don't like that phrasing. This is a little nitpicky, but let me delete that. Yeah, editing is insane. I hate video editing. I really, really, really dislike video editing. So the amount of effort that went into that is, to me, the biggest thing that you deserve, applause for, Leo. Like, nice job. Nice job. No, I want to be a live streamer who tries to do something like live video editing. Like, or if I post a video, I'd rather do 3 hours of prep work on the lecture notes in a way that I can deliver it in one live take, and it has some elements that look like live video editing, or that look like video editing. And I'd rather do a bunch of work in advance, but I just really don't like video editing after the fact. It's just a different medium, a different format. Nothing wrong with one versus the other, but my priority is teaching in a classroom. So you can't refilm lines, you can't edit out the ums and spaces between your sentences. So yeah, the soundness bug. Oh, and you already linked to it. Robledo put out a video. All right, I missed that. Yes. Yeah, I like your thumbnail style on the one-take co-create videos, co-create lettering. It's really clear with that it's a different series. Super smart. Editing sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it's a hack, but like, I don't know. Pro tip, I just love live streaming because it is an alternative. And to me, it's a more authentic, deeper alternative that builds real, deeper community and relationships, and it's just more fun and closer to doing the actual thing. In my opinion, like, some people can study or work live and then other people can't. I mean, it takes practice to be able to try to get to be productive live, and the last few days have not been very productive live, admittedly, but practice streams, like feel closer to the real thing, like per unit time, per unit effort, versus edited videos. Because an edited video can easily take, I think, easily 4 times as long in the edit versus the preparation and filming. Easily 4 times as much time into the edit. And then, like, you're getting better at editing, which is a valuable skill, but I'd rather be getting better at the math itself, or talking with people who are really into math or whatever. I felt like a dentist day in, day out editing. Well, it shows, dude, and it's worth it. It's just that you won't be able to, like, and you know this, obviously, I don't have to tell you, but hopefully your audience understands that you're not going to be able to put out a video like that every week, right? Some people are just, they don't realize, yeah. I don't know. How often, Leo, do you plan on trying to film such a in-depth video essay like that? Like, do you have another essay in mind? I imagine you do, but I could be wrong. What's your... I don't know, yeah. You can get an editor, it incurs costs, but then the other thing you might not think of is that if you want a well-edited video in a niche topic like math or classical guitar, like I've been through this already with classical guitar, you need somebody who knows that topic well. And so if you're filming a high, you know, like a dense video essay on the history of math, I don't know, AI can chop out the easy ums and blank spaces if you want to do that. Like that one, like AI could chop out the easy stuff better than a paid human could. The harder thing is an editor who knows which sentences can be taken out or tightened or remixed into a new sentence. And that requires the domain expertise as well. And that kind of person rarely exists who's really good at video editing and really, you know, knowledgeable enough in math or classical music or something. It's just, and it costs a lot. It costs a lot to pay somebody for that. Like, you have to be quite successful, I think, or it's a passion project, which is cool. Yeah, live streaming is just hanging out with people, which is fun. Totally. Although I don't think of that as terribly either good for YouTube or for teaching, like it's hanging out. Yeah, right now it's just hanging out. It's really not. But I've done a little bit right now. This is actually my first reaction to this book. And if there were more questions from newcomers from I take questions all the time here. I've explained things like defining groups, using like the dihedral group. I've given so many teaching demos and practice teaching demos many times here, through audience members who it's their first time seeing it. It's their first time seeing this thing. Like, we've all had to learn this stuff for the first time at some point. And I, believe it or not, made a little bit of progress right now, just thinking ahead to next week or the week after, whenever I want to do this section. How do I verbalize my criticisms of this section? Like, that's sharpened over time during this with every practice repetition. Like, I've repeated it a few times and it is hanging out, but I am thinking ahead to when I'm going to present this section in private group as well as like the main series. I don't know. And then you've seen like everything I know about representation theory has been live. Like I'm not as far as if I were studying privately, but I can prove Schur's lemma. Like everything, almost every moment that I've been studying rep theory has been here live with you all. And on top of that, I get some free advice. I can ask you all questions about things. Like I'm learning a lot from you all, and I'm freaking grateful, super appreciative of that from you all. So there's reasons that I just think practice streaming is just such a cool format if you can learn the right level of time management. My chat was frozen for a while. Now there's more. Okay, I'm behind. Sorry about this. I have 5 video essays you can make of that length. Who knows when the next one will be? Yeah. Like somebody like Adam Neely only posts his like long, hour-long, 40-minute long videos like every few months or something. And that is a awesome strategy. Like that is like real quality. I'm going for like a every single day, consistency kind of thing. And something that's like a little sloppier or like a little less sloppy, like a little more prepared, but weekly videos as well. Yeah. Nice. YouTube is your third priority. I was wondering if it's like your primary priority or where is YouTube for you? AI editing tools seem like they're getting quite good at the easy stuff, like spaces, supposedly, like for some of them, you can edit the text and then it'll do a good job creating the edit, which makes perfect sense. Like if you can just work with the transcript, oh dude, that would be such a killer workflow if it worked well. I saw one wherein it writes everything you set out and you can text edit that and it will do a tight edit based on what you took out. Exactly. Yeah. If you can work with the transcript, that sounds like such a sick, awesome app. But my intuition working with AI software right now and being a software developer myself is like, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe that works well when somebody I know recommends it. And I can ask them, does it really do a good job? Because I've found them in my own research thinking that should exist, and then I found it. But I haven't heard somebody personally recommend it, and I imagine it's like at that 80% quality level right now, to the point where I'm like, I'd rather just not do it. Like if it's not 90+%, I'd rather just not do it at all. Like I hate the idea of my videos looking like it was edited by AI, right? But yeah, like if it could do the quality level that I'm aiming for in my videos, I have no qualms about using AI. But the important thing is like it needs to be at the right quality level. Otherwise, it feels like I'm making slop for other people. Even if it's just like a little bit, like just better to just be unedited. Personally. Talent is a significant factor. Did I miss a question about talent versus effort? where was it? Oh, I want a video about the role of talent versus hard work in maths kind of video. That sounds, I would like to see Leo's video on that. Leo, like we've talked privately about like, that math, like we shouldn't shy away from the fact that math is hard. And I talked about this a lot yesterday live. Like, I don't know who was here for that, but like, I think that can be like a motivational coach. Like you can motivate students more by saying that directly. Like, dude, your gym teacher is not going to tell you that lifting weights is easy and try to trick you and lie to you and say that like going to the gym is easy. Like we should be seeing like math teachers like math coaches more. Like, yeah, math is hard. That's a point. That's the damn point. It's like it's like working out your brain the same way that you like work out your body doing push-ups or whatever, like freaking playing tennis or something. I think that there's a really good video essay out there, and I'm bringing it up into my videos in random conversation, definitely practicing it a lot and saying it in interviews. Like I say that I'm like, my dream class would be, if I could, this is, I don't know if any of you all care that much. I should catch up in chat, but like, I love the idea of like a course where it's individualized and everybody is getting beat up by math. So like if you're doing well at this book, we're going to stay on the same, you're going to stay on the same topic of the integers or something, but I'm going to give you another book. And you're going to have to sweat at that one too. And everybody's going to walk away from this class getting beat up by math, but enjoying it and like working at different levels or something. And like, because it's just infinitely hard. And like, we're all in this together and awesome. This person is freaking pre-MIT, pre-college, and they're working on real analysis, and somebody else is working out of Stewart, but there's like a mutual respect or something, and everybody's just being assigned math on the same topics at different skill levels or different difficulty levels, but not so much difficulty as much as tailored to that student, like kind of like one-to-many private instruction, like really a lot like how classical guitar is taught at conservatory. Talent matters at some point. Yeah, it really does. And we need to admit that. And that's okay. But I do think effort is much more important. Much, much more important. See, math with Ming. For me, consistency in the system is all that matters, so 1 divided by 0 creates contradiction, seals the deal for me as an explanation. That's enough? Yes, I agree, but he doesn't even say that. He doesn't even say that. This is my point, and nobody is saying, you're right, John, good point. Like, he doesn't even say that. Nobody is validating that I've spent so much time of this stream harping on this. Like, he doesn't even say that. Like, even that is a better explanation than just bolding it. I actively dislike this explanation, and I had better middle school teachers who explain that you can't divide by 0. And that's surprising to me. Like, yeah, it's just really surprising to me. At least that's something. And then if the kid asks why does it create a contradiction, I can give an example. And if they ask why, like beyond that, like this is just one example, we like proofs, right? Then we could get a little more theoretical for somebody and motivate them to learn a little bit about limits and give a sneak peek to things like limits and graphs and, algebraic arguments. Like, remember this theorem from before. Here's an application of this thing that we learned before. Here's a place where that theorem was really important. And in general, the strategy of math is to build theorems and frameworks that must be consistent in the future. If we did, imagine that we could solve that equation, then it breaks this previous result. Like, it's just more like training of mathematical reasoning of the process of mathematics in like a really great opportunity and setting. All of these, that's like 4 different reasons that are better than bolding it. Yes and no. Amelia Garbo, let me know. I'm sorry I'm behind on chat. Amelia, I think I lost you. I don't see your name popping up right now. Apologies. I wonder if somebody responded. Damn it. All right. Well, Amelia, yes. Yes and no. Live streams will be moving to a different topic, but my main series videos will still be laying. And I'm still every week going to be uploading videos, and I'll also take questions about this in the chat. But the primary book each week in the streams, which is a different product, it's a different offering, a different thing, it's a different video series. This is more like a hangout, study with me, general purpose math chat kind of thing. And I am preparing lecture notes for my future videos, and I am trying to get real math work done here. But, so yes and no. I'll be moving on to different topics for myself and indirectly for this, but the main series will continue having videos every week. Well, in my mental model, someone twice as talented as you will be twice as productive if they put the same amount of work in. Yes, I agree with that. The question is, are there people who are twice as talented as somebody else, or is talent something more like a 10% gain? Like, is somebody 10% more talented, innately talented, like their ceiling is 10% higher than somebody else, or is somebody's ceiling twice as high as somebody else's? Because I do think the most talented people I know, this is kind of a separate point, but some of the definitely the most talented people I know put in less effort to get the same results as other people. They're literally valedictorian of their class. Like one of my best friends, class ahead of me in high school, like he was like valedictorian of his class and put in no effort. Like he was just like partying with us, like, and just dicking around in high school because he didn't have to put in effort because he was just a super genius. And then he got his ass handed to him in college and then needed to learn how to put in the work. And that's just a trap that a lot of people who are innately talented fall into. And I'm sure you all talked about this in a second. Like a lot of people who are innately talented don't learn how to put in the same level of work that somebody else had to figure out earlier. And you can be quite successful being less talented than somebody else. I do think to be top class, worldwide champion of a hard subject, you need talent and hard work. But to be a productive member of society, somebody who's like functionally good, you know, I think that anybody could be a math professor with enough work. Like, I don't think that you need some sort of God-given talent, some God-given gift to be able to be a math professor. I think that you can get there with work. But to be Terrence Tao or a Fields medalist, yeah, I think you need everything. You need you need it all. But there's not that many of them. And you can live a meaningful, happy, good life without being Einstein or Terence Tao or one of those people. Yeah. Yeah, if you try, I'm way behind, but if you try the AI editors, I'd be very, very curious, Leo. I don't do enough editing to try it yet, but it's been on my to-do list for a long time. Hey, I miss you, but take care, Levi. Enjoy your work. Work hard. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Yeah, I like that phrase. You can define something where you can do anything. We make up all the rules. Can you do something meaningful or interesting with the objects you've defined? Yep. Yeah, dear Rain, we really need to keep contributing however we can to the gender disparity in math. Like, as whatever we can do, because there still is a disparity, and it's, we need diversity in something like math. Oh, great! I'm glad you saw that answer, Amelia. Glad you're still here. Yeah, like not everybody has the desire or taste to get through the difficult abstractions of math, but I think for the people who take to math, as you said, yes. For the people who find something inherently interesting in it, yes. Like if somebody wants to be a math professor, I think that they can put in the effort. Like you can get through all of that material, all of say a PhD with enough effort. I think anybody can get through a PhD with enough effort, but I think what we speak of as talent is really conflated with innate desire. It's not so much talent as much as like, do you find this thing interesting or not? Do you think that this is pretty and worth your time? Like I'm not personally, I have no interest in drawing. I don't know. It's not, even if I had infinite time, I don't think it's something that I would want to pick up as a hobby or as a craft. I love drawing. I'm glad other people can draw. It's just not, for whatever reason, I don't find anything meaningful in that for myself. Does that mean, I think that there's a conflation of talent versus innate interest. And I think very much innate interest very much clearly exists. I just think that we really blur those two. Like innate interest versus talent. Like a lot of the time people who are talented are just innately interested, and then therefore they want to put in the work to learn the thing, or just started learning it earlier so they just have a head start, things like that. Hey, Sundar, yes, we do prove square root of 2 is irrational in this section. And in the proof by contradiction video that I just did, it said that we've previously seen that the square root of 2 is an example of a contradiction proof. So I'm going out of order. I'm following Ling's recommendation there. So soon we will show this theorem, and it's good old classic proof that you're used to. Yeah, Dear Rain, like it takes somebody to share their passion, somebody who has experienced that math is beautiful, I think, to get it. Because and it's different things are beautiful to different people. I inherently have more interest, and I find personally algebraic arguments and algebraic mathematical structures much more inherently beautiful than analytic, calculus, smooth type of math. And they're different. And they're both pure math. They both can be studied as pure math, like art math, but different people find different things inherently beautiful. So it's not even like as if there's just one thing that you can share to people to say, here, look at this. This is nice. This is why you should study math. There's a variety. There's a wide variety. I think that the social influence of a good or bad teacher is the biggest impact. And this is, everybody says this, right? About math teachers, especially. Yeah, I do find the point perspective thing really interesting about art. Like that does sound interesting. I want to like understand 3-point perspective and like isometric drawings or whatever. Take care, Leo. Ooh, wait, is algebraic geometry not algebra? In my mind, now homotopy theory is also capturing me. Yeah, isn't algebraic geometry like the most algebraic of them all? That always seemed like king algebra to me right now. I think that's why Leo's laughing. Are you thinking of geometry as a separate tower? I mean, for mathematicians, algebra guy is basically equivalent to algebraic geometry guy, right? Yeah, that's right. That's my thought. And homotopy theory, to me, is really super similar. Like, foundations and logic, to me, is... I think it's... I guess it's a separate thought process or system or field of math, but it tickles the same part of my brain, personally. Like, very much as a programmer, as somebody interested in type theory, logic, and abstract algebra, like, I don't know, I feel like it tickles the same part of my brain that analysis does not. They seem very similar. And I don't know enough about geometry as its own separate thing. Yeah, Sundar. Awesome. Creativity is wonderful. Like, really showing a creative side of math is what I feel is missing in the high school classroom. Like, sharing the fact that math can be creative, that there are multiple solutions to the same problem, and that we consider some of them more clever, more creative than others, and that for there's an argument that this one is more beautiful than this other one, like this like creative, subjective, artistic side to math. A lot of people never see, because if you're just an engineer and you just want to prove that your bridge is going to not kill anybody, like your bridge is not going to fall, like it doesn't matter, like the reason that something is true. You only care about the fact that it is true, the fact that the bridge is not going to fall. Homotopy type theory does, right? But I'm out of my element here. Okay, I gotta go. Bye, everyone. I'm caught up on chat. I agree with Leo on this one very much. That's my understanding too. You're not being rude, I don't think. I don't know. Like, you are being nice. I didn't see any of that as not nice. I apologize if anybody thinks I'm not being nice. Mathematicians are the only ones who are just like insisting we must keep chalk. And think about it this way, dear Rain. Math as a lecture, as a performance art, as a math professor at the front of a classroom with chalk. I don't know how far back chalk goes specifically, but a mathematician giving an argument that there are infinitely many primes in front of a collection of people goes back thousands of years. Like, I don't know, maybe this is a very romantic view of that, but there's just something like so like traditional about chalkboard and like creating math from nothingness, from a black board, and like creating these mathematical logical arguments on the board out of nowhere, slowly written by hand. Like, there's just something to the tradition of that goes back thousands of years. And it just sounds cool. There's something about the like click of the chalk on the board, the feeling of it as a mathematician. I think, like, I love the iPad as like a digital blackboard, but here, sorry for blaring white at you all day today. Let's just get to whatever, this one, I guess. Reminder, mathcanbeahobby.com if anybody wants that. I think math is lovely as an opportunity to get away from screens. Like, I insist on working on paper with my students in person. Of course, I use the iPad for my students online, like on Zoom and stuff, but for my students in person, on paper, like, we work on paper, and it's like, you get to work on paper. Like, for the rest of your life, you're going to be looking at a screen, and it's, it's just not as nice as looking at paper. I don't know. Ooh. Oh, snap. Fighting words. Okay, Leo versus Locke here. He's young. There are olds that do this too, or worse, know a lot and should know better and give silly pronouncement. Okay. Ooh. I'm an old who makes major pronouncements about shit I don't know about at all. So I feel like there's a lot of self-awareness happening right now in this comment from Leo. I think that there's a lot of self-awareness that I'm sensing in there. Leo's the number one hater. All right, Locke versus Leo. I didn't know that there was a rivalry happening here. You like the perspective? Good, because I'm testing these lines on you all because I want to use them in my interviews. I'm glad that you liked that perspective because I think it's a good one. There's something just really beautiful about the idea of springing math and logical ideas out of nothingness, which really is like math, like what we do as math people. I've been in some of the case streams, of course, but I haven't observed this as a pattern. I feel like I've noticed a few bold claims from Locke, and I'm like, you know, I don't know enough to say otherwise, but I feel like he's being a little bold in some of these opinions, and I respect it. You know, I respect somebody with bold claims, but yeah, you gotta know, you know, what's your personal hot takes or something. Yeah, Amelia, very much agree with you. I work on paper when I'm studying. By the way, affiliate link in the description. You can get a cute little matching notebook. I used to swear by and love my consistent black Moleskine notebooks. Every single one was black, and I loved the aesthetic. Nowadays, I'm getting like a cute matching notebook for every book, you know? So here, if I want to actually do math, I don't do math here on stream. I go to the library, I bring a paper notebook and the paper book, and I put away all the screens, and I just try to lock in and engage with math the way that we've engaged with math for thousands of years on paper. Do you guys like matrices in parentheses or brackets? That's the important question here. Ooh. Hey, SRCCX, you are actually my target audience. Not these like freaking grad student bozos, dude. SRCCX, have you seen my series, Math Can Be a Hobby? Playlist of oh bro, dude, are you serious? Is this your first time like finding my channel? It's from bro, is this your first? Nice to meet you. Welcome. This is my cat. Sounds like you might be meeting her for the first time. She's so cute. Well, dude, hell yeah, man. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. I have a video that went literally mega viral a couple weeks ago. It's slowing down, but it went mega viral. Like it's got 215,000 views right now, and it is aimed at people exactly like you. The idea is that math can be a hobby, and that we should all try to if you're interested, math is something that you can study for fun. Math, like I know people who study math for fun personally, who are not trying to get into colleges. They're not trying to get a job. They're just studying math just because it's fun. It's kind of like a Sudoku. And this is a really good book for adults to relearn math, but to learn it the right way, not the pattern matching based way that we learned in school. Yeah, if you're interested in like rebuilding your foundations, like I'm actually this is not my main content. My main content is in that playlist. I hope you check it out and let me know what you think, because you are my target audience. No joke. So if you leave a comment in the comment sections about what you liked and what you didn't like, that would be like the most freaking helpful thing in the world to me, dude. Seriously. Like, if you hated them, let me know. Tell me exactly what you hated about the video so I can make them better in the future. Bro, nice to meet you. Oh, it's annoying that YouTube didn't make that clickable. Let me try again. Yeah, nice to meet you, dude. mathcanbeahobby.com. This time clickable. Playlist of yeah, what I've wondered about Locke is that there's like a lot of expertise. Like I've known people like this in software, which I can speak with some level of expertise. There's like some people whose taste is above their skill level, like because it's really easy to have like good taste or to like parrot the opinions of others. Like you should learn Axler. You should learn linear algebra from Sheldon Axler if you want to really learn linear algebra. And some people are just echoing the opinions of others that they've read on Reddit or something. But I don't get that sense from Locke at all. Locke knows what he's talking about, from what I can tell. But also from what I can tell, Locke kind of dabbles a little bit. Is that accurate? Because it just takes time, man. So I'm very impressed. Like some people are very ahead and you know a lot and you're good at math, but it takes time to learn these topics really well, right? Wait, no, it shouldn't. That one shouldn't be members only. Wait, no, that shouldn't be members only at all. Is it? No, dude. No, the main series, all of the videos are no, dude, it shouldn't be. It doesn't say that. That playlist is all public. I'm looking at it right now. The blue thumbnails. If you're looking at a black thumbnail, that is like a paid small course of people working together on the weekends. It's like a small group community thing, but that's like a secondary thing on top. There's no pink thumbnails, not yet. Yeah, I don't know how to make this. I don't know the right way to do all this. I'm trying my best to make it clear which videos are the main videos and which ones are. Yeah, no worries. It's just a hard problem. I wish that there were, like, I might just move all of the members only videos to Patreon or School or something. Like, I'm very tempted to just do that because I want people's first impression to be that my content is free, because it is. Like, all these live streams are free. All the main videos are free. This course, this like small group course on the weekends is like a new thing that I was never planning on doing before. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so the blue thumbnails, you want the blue thumbnails, that is my main series of videos that I was referring to. Pilot G2 pens are the best. Yeah, I do math in pen because that requires you to work a little more slowly and a little more carefully about every step. I think, I swear, just work with pen, and if you make a mistake, just scribble it out or tear the page out. Just scribble, just like cross it out if you make a mistake, and then learn not to make mistakes. Like, that's the goal, right? That's why I use pens. And yeah, like, oh, sick. Amelia, yeah, you're the kind of person I'm really trying to reach, like people who are studying math in retirement. There's one person who's literally retired in the small Saturday Zoom group, And yeah, she's like a good friend, and it's a joy to be teaching math to retirees. Like, that's actually such a cool opportunity and goal, I think. I only use pencils for sheet music. Locke fits the stereotypes of the undergrad category theorist. Yeah, let's. Okay, fighting words. Fighting words. Um, yeah. I'll be mean to the adult category theorists like Bayes. Ooh, Bayes should know better? Locke is, or Leo's getting bold. Like, that video is going to your head, Leo. You got 5,000 views and now you're just dishing them out. Like, now I'm wondering what Leo's saying about me, like, in Ming's streams or something. Because I speak a lot, like, as if I know what I'm talking about. I only have a bachelor's degree, dude. I only have a bachelor's degree, and here I am trying to offer a course in proof-based mathematics. Like, am I qualified? No, but qualified enough. Lol. Yeah, I deserve it, so it's fine if Leo talks behind my back. I deserve it. All right, bye everyone. I gotta go. Actually, I said that like 30 minutes ago. I actually really have to go. I don't even know what that conjecture is. Nice to meet you all the newcomers. It's really fun to hang out and chat math with you all. I promise sometimes I do a lot more actual problems live here. Keep an eye out for live streams almost every day, weekdays around this time. And right now I'm aiming for 2 Math Can Be a Hobby videos a week. So keep an eye out for those as well. Right now it's looking like Tuesdays and Fridays are my usual upload days. So keep an eye out for those. That URL is very shareable if anybody wants to share it with anybody else. But no worries if not. Nice to meet you all. And I'm going to do a better job of this. Special thanks to all the channel members and channel regulars who really make this stream and this channel possible. So everybody who's on this list, thank you, for helping support what I do. It would be truly a dream if I could turn this into a freaking full-time thing. Don't expect that. But still, like, just the fact that there's people wanting to help me or just hang out with me or just learn from me in any way is awesome. Thank you. All right. Bye. Gotta go. Bye. Bye.